morning and then it stopped all day.
Yeah. There we go. Now we're live.
All
cool,
right.
man. Yeah, so it's raining like crazy, huh?
Oh, yeah. It started yesterday.
Cool. Yeah. Man, for a second, I mean, half the internet was worried. Hang on. I have an echo on my... There we go. Now we're live. Wait. I have an echo on my system.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Okay. Man, for a second, I mean... There's like a delay. Hang on. Hang on. I have an echo on. There we go. All right. Now I fixed it. God, that's annoying when that happens, you know?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, so we got a few people waiting on us. Here we go. Boom. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, thank you, Anna, for, yeah, he's here. We're all here. It's all good. Yep. There we go. We're all here. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming to the Why Ukraine live stream today. We had a little bit of a hiccup, you know, normal stuff. No big deal.
Life.
Normalna, you know, it happens. So, but we have Tony here. Now, Tony, this is your third live stream interview. And, you know, this, I just want to emphasize that this is a fundraiser to help Tony get back to Ukraine to help his unit in the fight. So he was a frontline soldier, and is and will be again. Yeah?
Hopefully.
Yeah. I just want to do a little mic check here. If everybody in the audience could let me know, are you hearing Tony okay? Because that was an issue in the past, and I can turn it up. Tony, say something here. We'll try it again.
Slava Ukraine.
There we go. Yeah, so guys, let me know if you can hear that okay. I'd appreciate it. Yeah. Here, I'll type it in the... Oh, hello, Ionic Decay. Good to see you again. Let me know if you can hear Tony. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And so we luckily, I was just glad that we got the technical part done last time, you know, in terms of our interview. So I didn't give us a lot of structure, but I did ask my audience and some people, like here in Ukraine, for example, to, give some questions that they would like to know, things they'd like to know. And so I had some questions that I wrote down for Tony to kind of prepare him in advance, because, it's easier to talk when you know what you're going to be talking about.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Okay. So yeah, Ionic Decay says it sounds all right. Great, fantastic. So I think we're good on that. So it's raining like crazy. Is it like the rainy season there?
It's winter time, so still we don't get snow. We get rain, cold rain.
Yeah. You're a little bit south. So, but Ukraine has. I mean, Ukraine gets rain pretty much throughout the year. I think there's a dry season in the fall, maybe. And like, I mean, depending on where you are in Ukraine, you could get rain at any freaking time, you know. So, what color is your wall behind you, by the way?
Black.
That's fantastic. So last time you had a purple wall. Oh yeah, there's the purple wall, and you got a black wall. Man, I told my wife, I said, that's how I want to do our house. It's perfect.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's exactly what I want. Oh, so Oksana in our chat is asking, do you like Ukraine and why?
That's a whole lot better. Well, in some aspects. But yes, I like Ukraine. I mean, men know they're men, women know they're women. That's the main part.
Men are men and women are women.
Yeah. They all confused over here.
Yeah, I know. Issa Two Spirit says my inner goth approves of black walls. Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. So from what I've only seen some of the good parts, but
yeah,
I've seen a lot of the bad parts.
Sure.
No, I mean the hospitality is awesome. I mean the people. I was staying at one house on my off days, and the people across the street, they would invite us over for supper. They'd cook. Whenever they cook, they'd message me or come over and get me and tell me to come over and eat. And geez, it was nonstop food. I had to tell them stop feeding me.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like, they will too. They will just keep on feeding you until you just have to say Nima.
Yeah.
That's no more. That's ni means no and ma is more. So you have to say Nima. Because they will just keep on. Yeah. Like just like it's a little bit like Spanish, you know, ma and mas. That's how I had to think of it, you know.
Yeah, they would bring plates after plates, bowls after bowls, and I'm like, no, I can't eat this much.
Yeah.
You know, when I was eating one meal, I pretty much ate 2 days, and it was overfeeding.
You ate for 2 days?
No, well, they'd feed me in one sitting.
Oh,
would be enough for 2 days.
Oh yeah. It's a problem. And you know, my family there in Ukraine is they're constantly complaining that I don't eat enough. You know, and, of course I'm like, look at me, I'm fat. Stop feeding me.
That's what I told them. I said, look, I had in my stomach, and they just started laughing.
Yeah. So that was a good question, Oksana.
But the people are friendly.
Yeah.
They are.
People are friendly.
Given what's going on, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, in general, I agree. It's a lot of friendly people, and you know, even with the war going on, I've never felt unsafe around Ukrainians. You know, that's in America.
You gotta watch. Yeah, even your family here in America.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to just play with our sound a little bit here. Give me just 1 second. I want to see if I can get a little bit better sound for you here, and let's try that one. do a quick test here. Do that over here. All right. And that should work. Okay. Let's see. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure everybody can hear Tony properly. And then I want to make sure the mic is, the system is picking everything up, as it were. So yeah, if there are any sound problems, again, just please let me know. So let's get into some of our other questions. Where do you want to start? Because I sent some. What question do you want to start with?
You actually sent 7.
What's that?
I got answers written down. We can go.
You wrote them down?
I wrote the answers down.
It wasn't like homework.
Well, I mean, I wrote my answers down. That way I wouldn't be stuttering and stuff.
Okay. I mean, all right. It's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah. So, so I guess I sent you 6 questions or 7. Yeah, I guess 7, huh?
7.
Yeah, wow. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so where do you want to start?
We'll start just right down the line.
All right. So, why did you decide to come and fight in Ukraine?
That was easy. That was the easiest part. What was being done to the innocent civilians wasn't right. Ain't right. Still to this day. The raping, the killing, all the bombings of innocent civilians, and a country that's 5 times, 4 times, 5 times bigger, just invading the country for nothing was morally wrong.
Yeah.
And they don't have 8 million people left Ukraine. That would, I mean, even if it was 2 million able-bodied men, the war would be over now.
Yeah. Yeah. In other words, if enough of us could just go to Ukraine and take care of this problem.
Yeah. Down to Geneva Convention laws, just they not abiding by them.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I feel like I think that at least 30% of Ukraine's military personnel should be foreign. In other words, in terms of that's what I would like to see. Okay, is that we get enough people over there, volunteers coming in there, and the problem is, is a lot of people they can't stay. They come for a short time. They have lives back in the States. I mean, just like you. So I mean that's an obvious issue, but I want to do something that's more sustainable. I want to see about making something happen that is just more sustainable than, Ukraine invests a lot of time and effort in us. In us as soldiers. And
we was out, if we wasn't out on the front line, 9 out of 10 times we were out at the range.
Yeah.
We were training to be on the front line. So I mean, we spent 8 hours a day out there on the range. I mean, doing maneuvers with APCs, shooting, how to attack trenches and stuff. But yeah, they do.
Yeah. So it basically, every minute that you're not fighting, you're training, basically.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that I get the feeling, that Russia doesn't do. That Russia's not doing.
From what I've seen is they give them a week They get them, take them to a place, and then within a week, they're on the front line.
And when they're not on the front line, they're basically doing drugs and getting drunk.
Oh, they do that on the front line too.
Yeah, on the front line. Yeah, apparently the market for drug dealers on the front line is really going up there. And
no, they don't stay long.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a.
Well, that was like a joke. They don't stay long and they're getting blown up with the Russians.
Yeah, there's definitely a strong culture, coming from the Soviet Union and maybe even before, maybe even the Russian Empire, of heavy drinking in the military, and also when soldiers leave the military as well,
I think that's just their culture in general. I think they just drink to drink. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anna Halchenko, you asked a question here. I'm not sure what you mean. What do you think about that version? You'll have to be more specific. Version of what? Anyway, we have some Ukrainians in our chat, so they're talking about that. Yeah, I mean the assumption for soldiers is the assumption for soldiers, in kind of amongst maybe not Ukrainians in general, but Ukrainians who were raised up in the Soviet Union, is that soldiers come home and they drink and they're violent and they are complete, fuck-ups with their lives. And that's kind of...
Well, that can be on both sides, too, because a lot of people come home with PTSD.
Yeah.
And if you're not sticking out counseling and stuff or treatment and stuff, then everything that's going on in your head that you've seen and done just keeps replaying. And then when you add alcohol to it, it intensifies.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, it is. It's certainly an issue in America too, but I don't think it's to the degree that, like soldiers who came back from World War II here in the former Soviet Union, they were like worthless. I mean, they just they were a mess. It was a disaster, and I mean, there were so few of them that came back anyway, and so that just so that just is kind of, it became kind of this cultural tradition and idiom, if you will, that, yeah. So Anna just asked, okay, so she just specified a little bit. Yeah, so okay, so she's talking about what do you think explains what we I want to just skip down to a question that, because it kind of goes along with what Anna is asking. What do you think about what's going on in Congress right now with the Ukraine funding?
From what I can tell, is, all right, the Democrats are all for supporting Ukraine. So were the Republicans. Up until the Republicans wanted to shut down the border.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem come in. And they was like, you can send billions of aid to Ukraine, but you can't spend X amount of dollars here in the United States to secure our borders.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's where that's all coming from. You got to understand, it's tens of thousands come across every day.
Yeah.
From the border.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Jake Broe, so he's another YouTuber, pro-Ukraine YouTuber. The way he explained it was this thing that the Republicans have been saying about, we got to secure our border. They've been saying that since 1989. That's been their big issue: immigration. And they've had chances to fix it. Like, they had full control of Congress and the president, under Trump. And at least one time under Bush as well. And they just they never did it. And they could have done it, but the thing is they don't want to, because ultimately those tens of thousands of people who cross the border every day, they're working cheap jobs, illegal work. They're not paying taxes, and they're also not getting paid a living wage. So businesses and farmers also, but businesses who exploit those illegal immigrants, they don't want to stop immigration. And the Republicans especially they're controlled by money. All politicians are, but but the Republicans especially, and so they like to talk about, I hate immigration and I hate immigrants, and we got to stop this, we got to fix this immigration problem. But in reality, the people who are paying those Republicans the money, it's corruption. It's classic corruption. The people who are paying for those Republicans' campaigns, political campaigns, and all the ways that they spend half that money on hookers and cheap booze.
Yeah.
But the people who are paying for these politicians are saying, no, wait a minute. We want to have our cheap labor and our migrant workers with no rights, because yes, maybe tens of thousands cross the border, but they also go back home to Mexico. It's a very interesting thing. Yesterday, I had a live stream with another YouTuber, and he was asking me about, like, here in this part of Ukraine, it's about 50% Hungarian or more. So some people say that 50% of the population in this part of Ukraine, Zakarpattia, or Transcarpathia, is they actually have Hungarian passports. And Victor, like Hungary has made it pretty clear. This is probably a big reason why Hungary doesn't want to support Ukraine. Hungary's made it pretty clear that they want this part of Ukraine for themselves. Like, they want to take back, like, this part of Ukraine used to be part of the Hungarian Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So they want to take it back. So they had a plan that when Putin came in and invaded Ukraine, like, he was going to let them take back this little piece, But the deal is, so a lot of people who live here in Ukraine go into Hungary to work. And it's part of the EU, right? So they get paid a lot more in Hungary, and then they come back over the border and they live here, and it's super cheap. But it's, I don't know whether it's legal or illegal immigration, but it's kind of the same thing on the Mexican border. There's a lot of people who cross the border every single day going to work in America, and a lot of it's legal and a lot of it's not legal. But they also, like California, man, swear to God, if they fixed quote unquote fixed this problem with immigration in California, nobody would have any fruits or vegetables. Because
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, who fucking picks that shit? Who picks those strawberries? It's illegal Mexicans, straight up. You know, and if we had to pay them a living wage, the price of our strawberries and our avocados would go through the roof. Imagine paying one of those guys, $15 an hour, which is, the minimum wage in California. Every avocado would cost you $10, So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But what they're more concerned of now is terrorism coming across.
Oh, sure.
They have caught known terrorists of the count of 173.
Sure.
Crossing the border this year.
And I was talking about this earlier too. I think that was all part of Putin's plan, because a lot of those terrorists, they're coming from Syria. They're part of the ISIS, and Putin is really the one who caused this big refugee crisis of people coming from Syria. I mean, yeah, there was a war in Syria, but when Russia stepped in, they were the ones who started just bombing cities, leveling cities completely, and the people have no homes. Where the fuck are they gonna go? And that's what started it in a big way, starting in like 2015, 14, 15, 16, but that scares people. I mean, so it's like, hey, that's what the Republicans want. That's what Putin wants. He wants everybody to be scared, so they'll vote for fascists.
Hold on 1 second. Let me take off the
chair.
All right, I'm back.
There we go. So, do you know who Matt Gaetz is?
He's a politician.
Yeah.
Keep up with politics.
He's a politician down in Florida, and he's the guy he's a big. I mean, he's a Trump Republican. He is under investigation. He's being investigated for having sex with underage prostitutes. Not just sex, but actual forced. He's finds young girls and slips them drugs and has sex with them. So he's being investigated for that. But he's a very he's one of the loudest people in Congress, and he's one of the big guys who's been saying, we can't give money to Ukraine. We got to cut this funding, because Ukraine is so corrupt.
They're no more corrupt than the United States Senate is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more corruption in the United States Senate than there is probably anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, how you go from somebody whose yearly annually salary is $190,000. They've been in office for 20 years. How are they worth $290 million?
Yeah.
That's corruption right there. Because if I was making $55,000 a year, and for 20 years I have $30 million, they're gonna come looking at me like, where'd you get all this money from? But they're not gonna look at politicians that way.
Yep.
So I don't get into too much of the politics because they're gonna do what they want. I always say they already know who they want to be president and all that. So I mean, the election is just formalities.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, case in point, president we got now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
it's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But I'm not even gonna lie. I voted for Trump.
Really?
But this time, yeah. I mean, I did. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm.
Do I support a lot of his stuff? No. Will I vote for him this next time? No.
Yeah. Now you've seen what he does, who he is, and.
But not just that, because if he gets in, he's going to cut funding off to Ukraine.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll cut off the funding for sure.
And, that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, but we got, what is it, Nikki Haley?
Yeah.
That's running for, she's going to get my vote.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think Nikki Haley's a good candidate.
Should be a whole lot better than Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. Certainly. All right, well let's move on to our next question then. What can individual Americans do to help Ukraine? What do you think? I mean, what do you
Donate.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, not unless they're going to travel over there, which a lot of people won't. But just donate.
Yeah.
Financial or, towards.
I mean, besides my website, and which everybody who's watching, here you go. Here it is, full screen. By the way, this is a fundraiser to help Tony get back to Ukraine, and this is to pay for his plane ticket and travel costs. Just in case anybody who's tuned in, that's what we're doing here. That's our purpose for today's live stream. And I've got a website here where people can donate directly to buy equipment that will go directly to the International Legion for the defense of Ukraine. And you can also.
And I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Right now, they probably need cold weather.
They're doing what?
They probably need cold weather.
Cold weather gear. I talked to our company commander back at the barracks, and I asked him about that. And he said the number one thing they need is rain gear. Because I guess, when you're in training especially, but when you're out there, running around in the sticks, it gets tore up real easy,
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
And eventually they're probably going to need some anti-thermal.
Sure.
BDUs or,
Yeah. Today, at the local second-hand shop here, we talked about that. There's all these in this city where I live here, town in Ukraine. It's right on the Hungarian border. So there's all these second-hand shops, and they sell by the kilo. And the price starts at around like 400 hryvnias per kilo. And then every day it gets lower and lower until on the last day, they're selling it for 35 hryvnias per kilo. But you got to get in there and pretty fast, otherwise things will be gone. So this morning, I bought this pair of pants, and I paid 61 hryvnias. So that's less than $2 for they're basically just rubber pants. It's really what they are. These are Army issue. I think they're probably German. Literally, German Bundeswehr. Literally freaking rubber pants. And so one thing when we were out there, every goddamn day in the middle of the night when we had to run out into the forest, in training and getting rained on and shit. Now, when you were in the trenches, when you were out there on the front line, was there much rain?
No, there was none.
Yeah. It just depends on the time of year, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't rain while I was in the trenches, but when like on the days off, it might sprinkle. But I didn't really see no hard rain.
Yeah, yeah. So you just got lucky, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so certain times of year, it's raining like crazy, and when we were out there in the woods, I had a big poncho that worked great for my upper body, but my legs would get sopping wet, just walking around. So I've got now. Somebody bought a tourniquet, by the way, and when that tourniquet comes, it's going to come to me, and then I'm going to send. All of the gear that I've collected. I'm going to put it all into one big care package and send it to the barracks. Send it to the commander there, to Alexei, along with this stuff, And if I've got that on the no, I haven't put it on the website yet. I keep thinking I have. I'm going to put a link on the website where people can, like, if people want to pay, I'll like less than $1, I can buy these, and but it's hit or miss. It's like a grab bag. You know what I mean? I can't guarantee that I'm going to find this every time, but I'm going to have probably a suitcase full of rain gear and probably some winter gear. Yeah. So let's add, you mentioned like pants, like more like what do you think is better for being out there in the cold? Do you think long underwear under your pants, or do you think like those ski pants that you can buy that are like extra insulated?
I think it'd be up to the individual. Because the more you put on, the more you got to take off.
Yeah. Interesting. I've been doing some research on this myself because, winter, when I go back, it'll be the middle of winter. And, by the time I get out there, it'll probably be spring, but it'll still be pretty cold. March, maybe, something like that, So I've been doing some research, and turns out that the latest if you want to get the whole thing, and this is something that somebody on YouTube was talking about being out there, it's about layers, right? In other words, because you sweat, especially if you're running around, and you start sweating, and then you're all wet, and then
gotta have all moisture wicking. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you don't want cold, you don't want wet on your skin.
Right.
And that's when you start getting hypothermia and all that.
Yeah.
Frostbite and.
So the latest stuff, the new thing for this, for like real cold environments like that, is, and you're gonna laugh about this, fishnets. Like not fishnet, but not fishnet exactly, but a mesh, any kind of a mesh, In other words, they have they're the most expensive, like for your base layer, the layer that's against your skin, is to wear some kind of a mesh, because when you sweat, that sweat, especially when you're you're running, but you're wearing a lot of, big old winter coat or whatever, the sweat comes off as water vapor, and to get that, you want to wick that water away. So you have a mesh layer first that gives you like some air between your skin, and then on top of that, then you have your moisture wicking, which might be some kind of like merino wool or some shit like that. Then you have that layer, and then you have your big winter coat over the top of that. So, so I'm. You can buy these like specifically for really super cold winter gear. Let's see if I can find one. Let's see here. there's a Norwegian company called Brynje. Let's see, Brynje of Norway. Yeah, but it's basically just. Here we go. I'm gonna bring this up on the screen here. Here, I'm gonna do a screen share so you can see it too. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, so this company here, Brynje, and let's see if I can. Well, I don't. Okay, yeah, wool thermo mesh. This is the new thing.
Oh.
And it's literally freaking, like, I don't know if you... Yeah, look at that. It is. It is literally fishnets.
It is, ain't it?
And this is like the new thing, the big thing for... And they have wool... I've never worn wool fishnet before. I'm not sure how that would feel, you know. But, but hey, they say that this is like this is the way. This is the big deal. The newest thing in like extreme cold weather gear is the fishnet for your base layer, and then over the top of that, you wear like some wool or something like that. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if I.
That's interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? And this is like the most expensive stuff you can get too. I'm not sure how wool. I don't really like the feeling of wool against my skin, but I guess it's that merino wool, which is supposed to be better. But yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So one of our friends, who I don't want to mention his name online, but he just in response to what can individual Americans do to help Ukraine, he said, write emails, letters, call, set up meetings with your U.S. representatives, and urge them to do whatever is in their power to support funding to Ukraine. Yeah.
That is true also.
Yeah.
I'm mad I didn't come up with that answer.
Yeah, I mean, donating is good too. But aside from my website, where do you think... Do you have any
You can go to there's a lot of them, but whether they trust it or not, it's different.
Right. It's the real question. Yeah. It's a real issue, and what I found is that a lot of Ukrainian units or Ukrainian charities, they just don't understand how America works. Like in the EU, in Europe, it's much easier to donate stuff. You know, you all you need is somebody's credit card number, and you just send it, and it goes through immediately. And in America, you can't do that. You know, that's not a thing. You know, and
you end up paying for something in China.
Right? Exactly. It's going to be a scam every time. If you could, I mean, we don't have a way to. Our banking system just doesn't do that. You know, hell, we got people in America still paid with a paper check. You know, when they go to the grocery store.
My father-in-law does that. Well, I mean, he whatever. Yeah, write out the check. Here you go.
Yeah. So I, for me, as far as donating, the only one that I really know of and that I trust is Razom for Ukraine. So
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's they kind of have a pretty good setup in Ukraine. They understand how I'm sorry, in America, and they understand how Razom for Ukraine. Yeah, and here we go. Razom. This is the best known. Now, I have spoken to some charities who are raising money in the United States for specifically for the Legion, or mostly for the Legion, for the International Legion for the defense of Ukraine. But I spoke to them once or twice, and then they never spoke to me again. And I told them about what I was trying to do, and then they never talked to me again. So, maybe they sounded really interested, but the problem is there's so many charities in Ukraine. There's thousands of them, really, working, and it's hard to keep track of what's what and what's real. You can go on Facebook right now and probably find 100 of them if you without trying very hard, basically. Anyway, but yeah, Warzone for Ukraine. That this is the one that I personally trust. If I were going to do a fundraiser, like right now for anything, this is what I would do it for, basically. And yeah, so it's the only one that I know of, really, and it's really sad. I mean, this is something that I personally, one of the reasons I'm doing this, one of the reasons why I'm trying to build a community, the International Legion Auxiliary Corps, is to facilitate, help these smaller charities kind of, provide them like a big tent that they can fit in under and get their name out, get their word out, but also be better verified. I have the idea that we may have talked about this, but I have the idea that a lot of these charities, NGOs who are trying to get stuff into Ukraine, they get blocked at the border, and sometimes
there's a big blockage right now.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a lot.
Yep.
So, like Poland, there's a lot of Poland. In Poland right now, it's going to block everything, and I don't know what's going on with that. They want more money.
Of course they do. Yeah. I mean, it's all about. First of all, there's Russian influence involved. Okay, so the head of the truckers union, who's putting on this protest, he's funded by Putin, funded by Russia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he ain't been taken out on a date yet.
Yeah. Unfortunate, really. But I mean, they're trying to protect their livelihoods. Basically, Ukraine has a lower cost. Things are cheaper here, just simple as that. And it's just competition. Ukraine has less government regulation to deal with because they're not a part of the EU. Isa, you're still in Germany. Sorry, I didn't know. I got my words mixed up. One of our viewers just said, I don't know whether we still can do paper checks here in Germany. Yeah, but German, probably not. But Germans, I will say, Germans use cash a lot, though. And in the EU, there's some nations, some countries here where you pull out the country's own money, and people look at you like you're weird. Like in Sweden, for example, it's just pretty much credit card only.
When I was traveling, there was when I had American money, there was a couple places that were like, no, we don't accept American money. I guess it was because it was too much hard to you want to call it transfer or.
Yeah, that's interesting. Where was this? Was this in Ukraine or?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've had the experience where all I had was American money, and the restaurant that exchanged it into hryvnias for me. Okay, but when they did that, They only gave, I think they gave me 10 hryvnias per dollar, and the exchange rate is 30 something.
I think it's 37, 36.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at this time the exchange rate was more like it was closer to 30, maybe 29 or something like that. But regardless, they they did not give me a fair rate, I can tell you. Yeah. So
somebody got their cut too.
Yeah. So I mean, but basically, as far as the charities, there's so many, and it's hard to know what's trustworthy. I know what's not trustworthy, and that's a lot of these big charities like UNICEF and Save the Children and the Red Cross. They're not.
Yeah, because only like 5% actually goes to the cause.
Yeah.
The rest of it goes to the people, to the employees or the CEO or the founder.
Well, and these international charities, even the ones that do have, they keep their transparency, their books open. The problem is you may be donating to you yourself may be donating to the cause of Ukraine, but that doesn't guarantee that your money is going to go to Ukraine. They may have operations all over the world, and you don't have any control once your dollar leaves your hand, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a problem. Before we go any more into our questions, I wanted to ask you, did you get a chance to, I don't know, you probably didn't get a chance to watch the videos that I sent you?
I was in fact in the process of watching them when you messaged me on Facebook.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
And I was like, wait a minute, what's he talking about?
Like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Cool. So I want to share. I'm going to do a screen share here, and I want to share those. Just some excerpts from Big Mac's battle blogs. He's this dude. He's this dude that's here in Ukraine. He's down in the Kherson area right now. He's a drone operator at the moment. He was in the trenches. He was one of the originals in the Legion back when it was total chaos.
That's when they just took you in, showed you what to do, and it was like, be on your way.
Yeah. So he has some real stories about that. But so I'm just gonna here. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna play this. And I just want to hear your. Here, I need to slow down my. There we go. Okay. I just want to hear your reaction to what he's got to say. It's going to be interesting. Okay.
Hello, my name's Joe McDonald, and this is Big Mac's Battle Blog. So, just a little follow-up video to the last one.
Right. So you probably watched the first video where he's talking about things that people need to bring into Ukraine. But here he's going.
Actually, I hadn't seen none of it. Like I said, I just had clicked on it when you messaged me. Yeah, when you messaged me through Facebook.
Oh, perfect then. So this will be good just to get your reaction to what he says here. I'm going to play this for a couple of minutes, and then you can tell me what you think.
About 100% not a recruitment video, because I feel I left a few things unanswered. Now, how do you get to Ukraine? Well, essentially, from wherever you are, be it Europe or America, you get yourself to Poland or Romania, okay? A friendly NATO country that borders Ukraine. Then you get on a bus or a train and you go into Ukraine. And you want your destination to be either Lviv, Ternopil, or Kiev, because those are the three main recruitment hubs. And once you get out of there, you're going to find a soldier, and you're going to use Google Translate or DeepL or something like that. Or if you've been really good, your now learned Ukrainian language skills to find out where you go to sign up. What are you going to need? Well, you're going to need your passport, which obviously you will have with you anyway. As you've travelled there, you're going to need, if you want a job other than infantry, some kind of documentation or photographic evidence to show that you have experience with mortars, artillery, air defence, armoured vehicles, signals. I missed out signals, but yeah, that's definitely a skill that's needed.
That's a thing that I want to get involved in, this, the signals part. I don't know if that's even something that's available for legionnaires, but
they normally save all that for actual Ukrainians. So like all the mortarmen and all the really good jobs, are mainly for the Ukraine people.
Yeah. We're just grunts,
Yeah.
That's my feeling too. But he seems to be saying here now, he's not serving in the Legion, he's serving in some other unit. So it's entire, and he was a grunt to begin with, and now he's, he went to take some classes and he took like 2 weeks of training to become a drone operator, and now he's doing that,
Yeah, once you get in, like you said, if you got any documents saying that you was like you were saying, like you was a mortarman or a tank driver and all that,
right.
You have documentation on it, then it's take it straight to that unit.
Well, we know a couple of guys, or at least I did. I knew a couple of guys who had, like, one dude in the Legion who had artillery experience in America.
They took him out that Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, like, they were on him like white on rice.
He called a certain person on Friday, and that Sunday he was gone.
He was gone, yeah.
Yep.
So, and there was another guy who we both knew, who was a diesel mechanic. He was German. Do you remember him? Didn't speak a word of English. Yeah. And couldn't run a lap. Couldn't run one lap, but he was a diesel mechanic, and
talking about the old guy?
Yeah.
One that smoked 3 packs of cigarettes
all day long. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, but I assume he got picked up because a diesel mechanic. I think his experience with diesel engines was specifically with Leopards.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I recall. That's what I heard. Anyway, so anyway. So, yeah, did you have any? You didn't. You just told him you was a sniper, and then they or you didn't tell him that. You just went out there to the range and showed him what was up.
Yeah, I didn't mention nothing of that.
Yeah. Cool. Ionic Decay said that. I guess that's one of the reasons why some people switch to Ukrainian units from the Legion. Yeah, and I put forward the idea a couple weeks ago that maybe the whole purpose of the Legion is just to get people in and then farm them out to other units. I do kind of wonder about that sometimes. Anyway, we could keep going with this for a couple of minutes here.
Especially if you're more modern with your signals, because these days the army relies more on the internet and 4G than it does on radios.
Well, you can tell he's British. Just look at his teeth.
Hey, let me put you on hold for a minute. I gotta run to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah. Shake a pickle.
Being able to set all that sort of stuff up is important. And what you're also going to need is some money. Okay, as I mentioned, once you get to the combat zone, the pay is pretty decent. But from the moment you get into Ukraine to start doing your paperwork, to get sent to a unit, and then have the unit do yet more paperwork and get on the payroll, it could be like 2 to 3 months of you being in country before you get your first full paycheck. There's every chance that you will arrive at your unit like midway through a pay cycle, so you'll only get like half that. So if you want to come to Ukraine to serve, you're gonna need like £2,000 to £3,000, euros, dollars in your bank account.
Yeah, this is something, and when Tony gets back, I'm sure he'll have something to say about this. But yeah, I mean, I met a lot of guys who had exactly $0, and it's rough, because
it sure is.
Yeah, Ukraine is cheap as hell, but if you come with absolutely no money, it may be 2 months, 3 months before you get paid. And it can be, some guys were like, bumming cigarettes and, hey, I got my contract. I'll pay you in 2 weeks or whatever,
I don't bet.
Oh, hey, cool. Yeah, it's pretty tough. So it's a good idea. I think, Big Mac's saying 3,000 euros or $3,000. Yeah, that's nice, but I think you could get by with a 500. I think 500.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
500 is enough. I mean, if you don't go overboard,
yeah.
Because you're gonna want to buy the best stuff, but it's, like you were saying, 3,000, that'd be enough to buy all of this stuff.
Well, there's a thing, someone that you and I both know who came to Ukraine with like $3,000 or something, and he basically spent all of it on strippers in the first week. I don't know if you heard that story, but a certain commander of our barracks.
Okay.
Yeah, or not our barracks, but our at least our unit. Yeah, he basically first week had like I don't know exactly how much it was, but it was at least $1,000, maybe more. And the problem is it's hard for us, especially when you first get here, to convert between grivnas, the Ukrainian money, and dollars or euros. And so it's hard to know exactly how much you're spending, and everything either seems like it's incredibly expensive because you look at the price and it says 100 grivnas, and you're like, oh my god, and you're thinking in dollars,
Yeah, you think American dollars. I ain't paying $100.
Right, and then you realize, oh no, 100 grivnas, that's like $3, That's like $3 American, not 100. But then the other thing is when it's very easy to, once you realize that, then you're like, oh wow, I can spend 15,000 grivnas and his coffee, tea, and chewing tobacco. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Reed Folio said he likes his coffee, tea, and chewing tobacco. Yeah, I mean, you got to have your basics. You got to have your basics for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Tridents Against Tyrants said he sent me a message on Facebook, got a hold of me that way, and just a couple of YouTubers have been getting in touch with me, and I've been kind of doing some collaboration. Oh yeah, Tridents Against Tyrants, he says, Warzone in your browser. I was just looking at their programs for advocacy for Ukraine. Yeah, Tony and I earlier were just having a discussion about donating to Ukraine and, what's the best place to donate. And if you're not going to donate on my website, and you just want to generally donate to Ukraine and you want to know it's going to get to Ukraine, my personal feeling is Warzone for Ukraine. There are others who are just as good, and one of the things I'm trying to do slowly that I hope to do is build like kind of a network of NGOs and charities who are specifically, I'm looking for ones who are dedicated to the International Legion. That's one of the big things that I personally want to focus on. But, I intend to build up kind of like a database of those and collaborate and link with them in various ways as part of the, as part of our membership, actually. That if you join our YouTube channel membership, the International Legion Auxiliary Corps, that's the direction I want to take this, is to work on that collaboration. But for right now, I think Warzone is your safest bet. If you're not going to donate to my Shopify but for today, if you guys are going to do anything right today, the whole purpose of our live stream today is to raise money for Tony to get back to Ukraine. And he's waiting on, or his unit back there in Ukraine is waiting on him to get back there. And we've raised up more than $500 now for his plane ticket and travel cost. And let's see, you got I got to check all of my orders here that I've got. I'm literally looking at my Shopify right now, and somebody donated $50 yesterday, Tony. So that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I don't get a live update. It doesn't, like, if somebody was donating right now, it probably wouldn't tell me. Usually, I don't get the notification until the next day. Sometimes it takes longer than that. But yeah, for some reason, a lot of people are donating from Scandinavia. So somebody donated 352 Danish kroners, which is $50. And then a guy in Sweden donated 5,000 Swedish kroners, which is $507.56. So it's very. I don't know why Scandinavians love me. Maybe it's because maybe they look at me and they're like, "Wow, that guy looks like he's from Norway," Which, as you saw, when I messaged you on Facebook today, that my Facebook name, that is the name of my first Norwegian ancestor to come to America.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty. So, my hobby is the whole medieval Viking stuff. And when I had to choose a Viking name for my for my hobby, I was like, well, I'm just going to go with my great-great-grandfather's name, So, yeah, he was an illegal immigrant. Originally he was. He became legal, but he walked from Canada. So he came from Norway to Canada, and then he walked from Canada into America. So, yeah, one of those things.
Well, my time is about up. I got to do.
Cool, man.
Do family stuff.
Cool. Well, maybe we can do this again next week. As far as time, man, I like doing this at 12 o'clock your time, which is 7 o'clock my time, because normally during the week I can't do that because I'm still working at this time during weekdays. But yeah, so if you want to do this again next week, we can. I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Me too.
And we got a couple more questions, and maybe we'll handle them next week, and maybe we'll have more from our audience. So that's a call to those of you in our audience here. If you have any questions you'd like specifically to ask Tony, you can put them in the comments of this live stream, or anywhere in the comments on my channel. Getting onto okay. So Trident Skin Tyrants, he says, getting onto a stream with Rick might be good one of these weekends. Yeah. I noticed that he has a stream at the same time, so I want to take a look at. I don't want to like be streaming at the same time somebody else who's streaming. It's hard to do though. You know what I mean? But for right now, we'll go with the same time. 7 o'clock my time, so 12 o'clock your time. For right now, anyway. And just see how it goes. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Rockin'. Awesome. Dobo bachenya, as we say.
Dobre bachenya.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye. Cool. Well, so everybody, I want to thank you all for coming. That is the end of our live stream here. And for those of you who are still on, I see we've still got 8 people hanging out, so that's cool. I'd just like to ask you to go to this site here. It's Why Ukraine. That's the name of our channel. myshopify.com, and if you go there, I'm going to type it into our chat here. .myshopify. Why am I typing? I should be just copying. I don't know. I'm stupid. Okay, but there you go. Whyukraine.myshopify.com, and if you go in there, you'll see this. So we've got a bunch of products on there. These are items that you can purchase for soldiers in Ukraine, and these will specifically go to the International Legion for the defense of Ukraine. And then we've got a couple of other things. The first one I want to mention here, which is what we're doing the live stream for today. Okay, and that is we want to raise money, and we're thinking it's going to be about $1,500 to get Tony back to Ukraine. We've got $558 raised. So we're a third of the way there, which is really fantastic. To get him back to his unit so that he can help Ukraine. And then thanks, Anna. Thanks, Anya. God bless you too for coming to my mediocre live stream. And then also one thing I want to just mention here. This is a real interesting kind of a trial here. So this is a gift card. If being as it's the holidays, if you wanted to buy, if you have a friend or a relative who really supports Ukraine, you can buy this card, and it's a gift card where they can spend the money on my website. Okay, and you can go up to, okay, don't go crazy, but you could conceivably get it up to $10,000. But you could buy this card, and this will allow them to donate to this channel. It's maybe it's kind of silly, but it's a fun way to give a gift to somebody who maybe they already have everything, or you don't know what to get them, but you know that they support Ukraine. So I appreciate everybody who came to the channel. A progress bar, yeah. It's I would like to get a progress bar on. Maybe that's the next thing I'll do. Ionic Decay, he said, too bad you can't get a progress bar on raising this money. Yeah, that would be great. I need a little technical help with some of these things. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming, and I look forward to doing a live stream tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing live streams every night this week. Normally, it's going to be 9 p.m. my time when I start the live, or 9:30 p.m. when I start the live streams during the week, because I know it's not the best time for people in America, but I'm trying to enable more Americans to be able to get involved in Ukraine. So with that, I want to say do pobачення, everybody, and Slava Ukraine.